Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well, this week is probably one of the low points, not so much in my life, but for the lives of transgender people in the United States during this second Trump regime. And I'm sorry to say, it's likely going to get worse. We've had two horrific, tragic events take place this week. We all know about Kansas and what's going on there. I mean, trans people overnight were stripped of the right to drive a vehicle. They were stripped of the right to buy alcohol. They were stripped of the right to buy a gun. They were stripped of their right to, they were stripped of the right to vote. Their rights were just flat out taken away from them. And the vast majority of people seem to be a little indifferent about it. And, well, it doesn't affect me. Fuck you, it does affect you. It's all of us. These are American citizens. They've done nothing wrong, But a group of Republican white men have decided that these people are not human beings, and therefore they're not afforded the same dignity and respect that all other human beings are given, And these are your fellow countrymen, for fuck's sake. And still, well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. The bigger story, and no one's talking about it, that's what the federal government is doing. The evil Trump regime and its fascist-leaning authoritarianism, embrace the religious extremists, have now pushed an agenda that is now violating even levels that the Third Reich did not reach. And this is frightening because they plan to do much more than this. There are 73 incarcerated transgender women that we know of. And I'm saying roughly that we know of. There may be more. I don't know. The thing is, Florida had started a little program a year ago where they decided they're going to force these women to be taken out of the women's prison, put in the men's prison, and their heads are to be shaved. Everything that's female about them will be stripped of them, and they are to be defeminized completely and thrown into a male population where they will likely be assaulted, raped, or murdered, or sex trafficked. That is not fucking cool. That's evil. That's like taking somebody off the street and stripping them naked and covering them in bacon grease and throw them in a pool of water with live sharks. Eventually, someone's going to bite. Someone's going to attack. And you're going to watch this as entertainment and say, well, it doesn't affect me. This is your fellow countrymen we're talking. It doesn't matter that they're incarcerated. The thing is, these people, what they want to do to them is they want to take that program from Florida and go on steroids. And basically, they are going to not only strip them of their social identity, strip them of their femininity, but they want to medically detransition them, taking away their HRT. Not only that, but possibly give them the opposite, to force them. And I don't know how you're going to, what they have in store for people that have breast implants or cheek implants. What are they going to do? They're going to operate on them and remove their breasts? This is dehumanizing. This is criminal. This is a human rights violation. This is your fellow countrymen. You can't just fucking say, well, they're in prison, whatever happens, they did a crime. That crime has nothing to do, what they're doing to them has nothing to do with the crime they were sentenced for. And the Supreme Court, under this fucking, these fucking bootlickers, they've basically said, oh, torture's okay. Here on U.S. soil, this is not cool. This is un-American. If there's going to be a new Nuremberg trials, man, I'm going to want to have front row seat, because these people have a lot to answer for what they're doing. And ultimately, what this reflects is not necessarily an assault on transgender people, because there seems to be a lack of activity in the assault against trans masks, for example. They almost are complaining that they're not being picked on in some levels, or even acknowledged. No, they're not targeting trans women, and trans women specifically, with a vengeance. And the way we see it, it doesn't seem to matter to them that some of the people they're targeting with these bathroom bounties and all these other things, it doesn't matter to them that they're not trans. They just want to go after women that doesn't fit their ideal of what a woman is, you know? Some fucking moron back there, fucking Hollywood. So essentially, it's not so much a war on women, it's a war against femininity itself. And that seems to be what their problem is. Because every one of these motherfuckers all have Grindr accounts. And they've got big porn histories. And guess who they fetishize? Us. And so for this assault, I mean, this is brutal. It's inhuman. It's not right. And it's un-American. And nobody should be just sitting idly saying, well, doesn't affect me, you know. You know, there's an old German poem about that. And, you know, you did nothing because it wasn't you, didn't affect you, and therefore you are, you know, thought, well, they're not coming for me. Well, what happens when they do come for you? Who will stand up for you? You need to stand up for your fellow Americans, regardless their religion, their gender, sexual orientation. These are your fucking countrymen, whether you like them or not, you know? I don't like fucking rednecks. I hate people with big trucks. I hate people with fucking assault weapons. But you know what? I don't spend my life trying to make their lives miserable. You know? They shouldn't be doing the same to us. It's not right. And you know, what they're doing is so criminal. At some point, they're gonna have to answer for this. And I hope they do. Because, you know, trans rights are human rights. And the sooner people start fucking acknowledging that and speaking up for us, the better this country just might be towards a chance of redemption. Because right now, and mind you, this is a non-Christian speaking, actually kind of an anti-Christian. I will say this country is really going to hell right now under this leadership, under these maniacs, these religious fanatics and political opportunists. I mean, what they're committing is an act of vandalism, political vandalism, destroy everything that was decent about this place, you know? They're doing it. And very few people, they're saying, well, let's just wait for the midterms. What if there are no midterms? What if they decide to go even more crazy? Because the Heritage Foundation doesn't seem to have any depths to their depravity. They really want to do things like make HRT a Schedule 1 of, you know, drug and apply such offenses. You know, there'll be a fucking human tragedy. It will kill a lot of us, you know. Some of us are very dependent on these. Again, we've done nothing to you. You have no right to do this to us. And those of you who are sitting idly by and saying, well, don't affect me. Well, I don't really like those people anyway. And those who cheer our demise, shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. You're neither a good Christian. In fact, you're not even a Christian. If that half-dead alien was still alive, he would not be on your side. Trust me on this. Because he believed, in fact, he was one of his commandments. He told you to love your neighbor, regardless of who they are. Love your neighbor. No, you don't love us. You despise us. You believe the lies. Believe the lies by people who didn't know we even existed 3 years ago. Shame on you. You're destroying America, not us. We were just living our lives. And the sooner the head of the Hydra falls, maybe the sooner we can get back to our lives, or what's left of them, thanks to you and your indifference. That's been David Death Dolly. This has been my rant. Thank you.